Hello again. So a while ago I made a video about finding the truth, and in it I mentioned also briefly morals. And in this video I want to discuss something that interests me and is also part of my project to understand anything. I mean everything, everyone, people, and it works. You can understand everyone. And there are some topics that I may discuss in another video about how certain people do not understand at all how to do this, especially psychologists. It's really weird. But here I want to talk about Peter Hitchens, going back to Christianity. So he was an atheist, and his brother is, I think, still one. And why did he go back? Well, I read about it a few years ago. I didn't know who he was, but I looked up a video in which he talked about this subject. And I already knew why he returned to believe in God, simply from my own analysis of the essence of life and religion. And viewing that video confirmed it. I don't know if it's this video. I don't really recall which one it was. Peter Hitchens on religion and God. I need to look it up a bit more and check some videos. I mean, in any case, so why did I know why he was going back to religion and God? Where there are three main elements. One is age, and he mentioned that in an article. But I knew that before that, because when you're older, you get to think about certain topics and in life, and your view changes. You think also about from very essential topics, but that is what I will discuss later. So this is the article. He mentions there explicitly that it was age. Oh yeah. Secondly, foundation of morals and behavior, and the reason to accept them. So if you do not accept God, then you may think, as I mentioned in a previous video about finding the truth, about morals, and I said no, morals are not ad hoc, they're not just chosen at random, they have a certain intrinsic value. You can deduce them from principles, and those are biological principles and principles about behavior, because you're living in a society and you're not a bunch of psychopaths who don't care about anyone but living apart and trying to get anything you can from other people. If that were the case, then there would be no society. The reason to accept certain morals as given, for example, in the Bible, would be, if you can't really deduce them, but you can, it is possible, that you say, well, they come from the ultimate authority, the creator of the universe. But there is a third principle, I think a third issue, an issue in life that is very important. And only when you realize this issue in life can you answer the question on, is there a God? Is there a need for a God? What other options are there? And I came to this topic, and I will let you think about it. I'm not going to just answer it. I came to this topic actually by looking at the foundations of physics and seeing what could I deduce from them using higher level topics. And I found that there is an answer to this question. And one possible answer is there is a God who creates everything. Another possible answer is a different kind of solution, and that is actually the one that I think is true. And the interesting thing is, I knew that he would know that this is a problem, but not on a conscious level, but on a subconscious level. And that's what was confirmed in the video. When I watched the video, I thought, I know what the problem is for him. It's exactly this issue that needs to be resolved about life, how you view life. But he can't analyze it further than what most people can do. And this, the answer is a return to God, because that gives a answer as well to this issue. But my solution is a different one. I always felt that religion is not important in the sense of it is a necessity or a belief in a God. Religion is more guidance to life, like for morals, for example, lessons of life. It's like philosophy. So I knew that he was going to go back to religion, belief in God, because of this issue that he could not resolve consciously in a different way. And his story told me exactly that he was indeed not aware of the actual issue, but he talks around it. It's like how shall I explain it? Like if you have, for example, pupils in school, they are told something about physics or mathematics, for example, and the students hear the story, hear the explanations, and they think, oh yeah, that makes sense. But if you then ask the students or the pupils in secondary school, for example, to explain to someone else how it works, then they will fail. And it's because you need a deeper understanding. And this is also why teachers have higher education than what they teach. Besides just teaching the methods of teaching, they also get the deeper understanding of why exactly everything works in a certain way. You see the same, so he does not realize it, how it exactly works and why exactly he goes back to religion and God. I mean, he doesn't understand in the sense of understanding the principles that he was actually trying to reach. And this is similar to self-help books. I read, for example, a little bit about a self-help book from a Dutch guy, Bertolt Gunster, in his book. I think it was that one. It's a bit stupid title, but it's like like not knowing what's going on, something like that. And he gave a talk to people in Ukraine, and it wasn't clear to the people why his answer to a certain question was in a certain way. And then I realized, yeah, he does not understand the matter at a deep enough level. He cannot explain it properly like a teacher can explain it to the students. He understands it at the level of student or slightly above, but that does not make him good enough to be able to explain it on a deeper level. Now to explain it on a properly to the students. So this also leads to another topic, like the truth, as I mentioned in another video. And for example, the propagandists from Russia, they're almost always from Russia, about this war against Ukraine. And only on, for example, some American channels, you get some American indoctrinated fools. But most of them are just from Russia. You can see it, for example, from the language, from the style of writing, from the topics that they discuss. And there's some I had an interesting experience about this long ago with a woman from Yalta. I talked to her quite a bit. I saved them also the messages. And she was really indoctrinated by the Russians. We talked a bit until just after the Russian takeover, and then she became really negative. But that's for another story. It'll be interesting, I think, to see how the indoctrination works. But to me, it's also interesting that I wonder why people don't immediately see all propaganda as propaganda, because it's so obvious in almost all cases. In any case, okay, that's for the next video. Bye.